gotta know how to pronounce his name, so let me make sure I don't screw this one up. Adam is a dad, husband, attorney, author, and musician. He just released his first children's book, You Come From Love, which he wrote for his twin daughters, Rev and Sky. Rev, R-E-V-E, like the word dream in French. Daughters, Rev and Sky. He is music director at Gilead Chicago, a queer storytelling bar church. Yeah, sounds good. That sings pop songs. You can find Adam and his family all over TikTok and several social media locations under at 2dads, 221, help me.
2 twins.
2 twins. There's 21 wins. I'm sure at least that many. You can find on social media 2 dads and 2 twins. Please welcome Adam.
My husband and I get the call that our surrogate's water is broken, and we are 350 miles away, which is sort of the plan. She lives in Oakland, California. We live in Chicago, so about a month before the due date, we fly out to LA to stay at a friend's place so that we're at least closer to Oakland as the due date approaches. We're going to be in the delivery room there for all of it, but a little over 2 weeks before the due date, we get this call. It's just before midnight. T, my husband, right there, has fallen asleep on the couch next to me. I'm still up doing late night stuff, on my phone, watching TV. And I run out in the kitchen to grab something, and I get back to the couch, and I see that I have a missed call from Ida, our surrogate, which is unusual at this late hour. I'm opening up my voicemail, and I see across the couch from me T's phone light up, and on the screen I see Ida's name. At this point, my heart starts pounding because this is no longer a late night butt dial, an accident. This is her urgently trying to reach either one of us, which can only mean either that something is wrong or that we're about to be parents. T and I have each created embryos from our own sperm. My childhood friend was our egg donor. T's close friend Ida ended up being our gestational carrier. We transferred an embryo from each of us at the same time in the hope for twins, and it worked. The transfer was successful, and so we're expecting 2 babies. So I grabbed the phone and run out of the kitchen. I'm like, Aya, hello, is everything okay? And Aya, as ever, cool, calm, cheerful. She's like, Adam, hi. My water just broke. There's so much water. The doula's on her way. We're going to head to the hospital. You guys should probably go to Oakland. In the meantime, Tina's heard me talking and has woken up. Like, her water just broke. I gotta hang up the phone, and it's just a mad dash to get out the door. I'm throwing things into suitcases. Tia's on the computer trying to figure out where we can rent a car in LA after midnight. All the locations are closed except for the airport. So an Uber drops us off at LAX in an empty, unlit parking lot adjacent to the rental car facility. T runs in and grabs the car, and I am left here surrounded by our luggage. We still have this heart-pounding, adrenaline coursing through this urgency. We gotta go. But at that point, there's nothing I can do but wait. Just need to chill. This was a good warm-up for the long day of waiting ahead of us. T pulls up in the rental, and at this point it's 1:30 a.m. Google's giving us a 6-hour ETA to get to Oakland, depending on traffic, which lands us there right in the middle of the morning rush, but whatever. We get situated and take off on the highway to Oakland. The first song I play, Celine Dion, I drove all night. And we did. We drove all night, no sleep at all. About 5:30 in the morning, I can see first light breaking over the California horizon, just this gorgeous sunrise, deep shade of red-orange, fading lighter and then darker into the navy morning sky. It's absolutely breathtaking. And actually, one of the names that we picked for one of our daughters is Sky because of how profoundly beautiful the sky was on the day that we found out we were having girls. 2 girls. And so with that, and now with this beautiful scene in front of us, it really felt like we were part of something bigger going on, like the universe was in on it, and it was like sending us on our way. I wrote about it, and I wrote the love from the universe, love from the stars, love from the God that made you who you are. It's so cool. So the sun continues to rise. We get to the hospital right around 8 a.m. I burst into Aya's hospital room, so relieved to finally be there. And it was like crashing into another world. All of that chaos and nerves that had just fueled us for the last 8 hours just ran headfirst into this completely serene, still environment. The lights are dim. Soothing music is playing, oils are being diffused. Aya is lying on the hospital bed with a compress over her eyes, and I can hear her doing her breathing exercises. And again, I realize I need to chill. There's nothing I can do here but be present for her and for this moment. The day wears on. Aya is a wonder of strength. I'm witnessing this amazing woman go through this incredibly intense experience with no drugs, no epidural, nothing. She doesn't want it. Things really start to heat up around 3 p.m. At this point, she's on her knees on the hospital bed, and she's leaning over a metal bar that they've installed across the bed. I am face to face with her, holding both of her hands, and I'm just saying to her, "You got this, you're amazing," over and over again. T is behind her with a nurse, and they can see the first baby crowning. And the doctor is just casually sitting off to the side, just watching all of it. I'm like, "Do you want to get in here?" She's like, "T, just guide the baby out." And he did. He delivered our first child. Rev is born at 3:43 p.m. He brings her over to me, places her in my arms, and I'm just taking her in, having this first moment as a father, and she pees all over me. So we're having this moment, and the doctor comes over and tells us that the second baby, Sky, is in breech position, which means that instead of her head being down to come out first, it was her feet. This presented risk to her, especially as the second of 2. There was this bad risk the cervix could close around her neck before she had a chance to get all the way out, suffocate her. Terrifying stuff. And because drugs and surgery were off the table, the team wanted to try this external pressure movement thing to try to get the baby to turn on her own. That didn't work. And we're now watching as minutes turn into hours. 6 hours go by. It's now right around 10 p.m. And we're having this final huddle with the team. And the doctors are really pushing for an epidural. They want to at least get it in place in case they have to do an emergency surgery. They need that taken care of. But this was Aya's call. And so she sat with it for a long time and thought about it. And she ultimately said, "Okay, let's do the epidural." It's not what we planned, but worried about herself, worried about the child as well. So it was set. The doctor said it'll be a little bit before we can actually get her in the room to do that. So T and I take that opportunity to go for a little walk. We just do a big loop of the hospital floor, clearing our heads. It's been a long day, no sleep, coming up on 24 hours. We talk about how amazing Aya is, how beautiful our new daughter is, how scared we are for Sky. Make our way back to the labor and delivery wing, and we're standing in front of these 2 giant steel doors waiting to be buzzed into the secure area. Both of us are silent. And as the doors begin to open, so do my floodgates. All of the emotion of the day just washes over me all at once. The good, the bad, the scary, the doctors telling us all the different ways that our baby or our friend could die, it all just hits me. And I lose it, just start crying. And he sees me crying, he's like, "Are you crying?" He doesn't cry. Gives me this big hug, he's like, "I know this is tough, but you gotta get yourself together. She cannot see you like this right now." I'm like, "I know." So T goes back in the room. I stay out in the hallway and finish having my Grey's Anatomy moment of quietly sobbing into my hands while doctors and nurses shuffle by. I get myself together, I go back in the room, and everyone's ready to go. They've all scrubbed into these hazmat suit, white operating room scrub things. T's gonna go with them, I'm gonna stay back with Rev, and within moments, they're wheeling her out. And again, I've landed in another world. It's just me and my new daughter completely alone in this totally empty, silent hospital room. Nothing we can do but chill. So I FaceTime my mom, we marvel at Rev, we cry together as I tell her how scared I am for Sky, and we just hang out. A little after 10:30, a nurse pokes her head in the room, as so many have done that day, and she's like, "Congrats, Dad!" I'm like, "Thank you." And she goes, "2 healthy girls." And then it hits me like, oh, she knows something. And I was like, "Is Sky out?" She said, "Yeah, and she's beautiful." Before they could even get Aya onto the table, a nurse saw Sky's foot poking out. And she goes, "You got her. No epidural needed. No issues whatsoever." So she was here, the wait was over, and for what felt like the first time in those long 24 hours, I could finally breathe.
I just went and followed their TikTok, and you should do it too. Two dads, 2 twins. The girls are adorable. OMG. Yes. Congratulations. We need that. More queer families. There's actually a great podcast called the Queer Family Podcast. Y'all should totally be on that. If you haven't been on that, you should do that. It's not my pod. I just like it.